guys, it's Laura, and I just got out of a class. It's actually a children's class, but it, like my philosophy, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter at all. I don't talk like down to kids because there's no down. We're all just sponges, right? So the thing today is about faces. Not even about faces, it's about hair. And hair is like a huge issue in my 20 years teaching fashion drawing and fashion illustration. Hair is a thing, okay? And we're going to talk today about some key tips about hair. This is like a leftover little example of something we did today. I'm going to show you the most common hang up, error, trouble that comes up with faces. And then I'm going to show you my top tips for overcoming that. So here's the thing. In the class I was teaching, we were using a croquis template. We're using a children's croquis, but it really doesn't matter because I used that same croquis to create this woman. Okay, so, and you don't have to use a croquis, but I'm going to use a croquis for this example so that you feel that you can use one too. This is from a template website. And they're like girls' croquis. And I love it because it's like real body proportions and nothing exaggerated. But here's what happens. With fashion drawing, usually even people who are drawing really beautifully all the clothes, one of the most common things that happens with the hair and the faces is that people start drawing lots and lots and lots and lots of hairs. And because there's many reasons why we do this, but I always say the same thing, which is when we draw clothes, we don't draw all of the threads. And so when we draw hair, we don't have to draw all the hairs. Even this doesn't look so bad because it's so hard for me to want to draw hair that's really troublesome, like the way people draw it. So I'm not feeling too articulate this morning, but look, the thing with hair is that you want to draw shape, shadow, and highlight, not hairs. So shape, I'm improvising right now based on my own inspiration. But like, do you see the shape of this girl's hair? But I'm going to get specific with you on how you can create your own hair shapes. So, when you are drawing someone's hair, you work from a photo, first of all, and work from facing you, frontal hair. So let's see. I had a page open that was perfect for this with my students. But like, don't use something sideways if you're a beginner, okay? These are all sideways. This is from my book, by the way, The Language of Fashion Design. But okay, here's some frontal hair, for example. I'll do one updo, and then maybe I'll do something down as well. Oh, these are beautiful. These are all frontal. Okay, so let me do this one first because I think it's going to dry. This hair in this picture is purely shape. There's really not a lot of light and shadow on it, right? It has like a matte finish, very soft up here. But for example, if you work from a photo, then you have a reference to help guide you in your drawing. So I'm using marker paper here. Marker paper is really nice because it is so sheer. Honestly, I never let my students work with marker when I taught at Parsons for 25 years. But this particular class I'm teaching, she wanted me to teach it in marker, and marker's cool too. So we're going to use marker here. But marker paper is the best thing when you're using markers because it doesn't soak up all the ink and it doesn't bleed through. And it's also super sheer. So it's a kind of like a tracing type of a paper. So I'm just giving hints of the face. Okay, but I'm looking at this model and I'm looking at the croquis, the head of the croquis. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to softly indicate the edges of her hair, her neck and shoulders, and then the shape. Now, before I even get specific about the edges of her hair, I got to get the size and shape of it because this is a particularly large hairdo. Soft pencil line, and then filling it in with contours. Now, I also taught my student this morning how to do contours, which is a whole other new exercise. I may have a video about it, but maybe I'll add it at the end of this video or link something below. But the point is, here's the girl, here's her hairline, right? And here's her hair. That's step one. Step two is, let's give her skin tone. Just to bring, I always add skin tone because for me that brings my fashion sketch to life when she becomes a human, right? Okay. And again, I use wet media. A lot of my classes, we use gouache. This is marker. Doesn't matter. Ooh. See, and the thing is, you get inspired as you sketch. Like now I'm picturing her in this like off shoulder. It's all design. It's off the shoulder. It's a sleeveless dress or something. Okay. Now, that's her dress. That's her skin. Now back to the hair. Okay. Step one, her hair is a shape. And the edges are very important. You can see the edges here. But step two, my lighting is casting a lot of shadow while I draw. Sorry, guys. I can reiterate those edges with my pencil. Contour drawing, like I said, is something I teach a lot. I'm not going to teach it as much today as I'm just going to use it. But, you know, giving texture to those edges. And something I didn't mention that I could say right now is whenever you draw hair, start with photos. Start with studies from photos. And what I'm noticing whenever I draw hair, give her some features, is how far is the hair from her temples? And how far is the hair from the top of her hairline? Not from the top of her head, because the top of her head's like here. But her hairline is down here. And that's something that people confuse faces versus heads. The face and the head are different things. For example, the eyes are high on the face, but eyes are actually halfway down the head. And this is the kind of thing that people get confused when they're drawing. They forget that they're, part of the head is covered with hair. So now we have the shape of her hair. Now I'm going to fill in the shape with solid color. And this is the biggest challenge for most people. They start to draw, they want to draw every hair. Like, for example, this hair, very curly. Nice, African hair. And it's not millions and millions of teeny tiny curls. Your brain knows that. But when we're looking, what we're really seeing is a matte finish and a single shape. So focus on a solid shape of wet color rather than drawing lots of little curls, because there's no white in her hair. There's nothing showing through her hair. It's a solid shape, just like her dress is a solid shape of yellow yarns. Her hair is a solid shape of hair, okay? And now you can add, if you want, some little textures, right? Like the more frenetic I put little shadows in, will kind of show more of a choppy texture rather than a smooth one. So that is something you can do. Another thing you can do is squint. If I look at this, I'm sure you can't see it so well from where you are, but like some areas of her hair look pitch black and others look almost golden on the tips. So for example, and I was telling my student this today, usually the blackest parts of anyone's hair are next to their neck because that hair is behind her. And then certain areas, if you squint and look at any hairdo, certain areas will just look like much darker than all the others. And the beauty of that is any shape that is like half in shadow, half in light, regardless of where that light and shadow is going to look more three-dimensional than if it's just one flat tone. It's literally going to look flat. Yeah, flat. I want to look at this right now. You don't want your sketches to look flat. You want them to look dimensional. That's why we shade things. Okay. So now we have this hairdo. Now one more thing I said. So we have the edge, we have the shape, the contours on that shape. Then we have shadow. I put here, 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 and here. Can you see it? And then I'm going to take, I said there's like a golden highlight around the edges of her hair. I can see it in the photo. You may not. But if you have a good quality colored pencil, it's not going to work without good quality pencils. I recommend Prismacolor Premier. Some of my students are using Blick. That's good too. But a lot of colored pencils are really, really thin and don't show up. You want a colored pencil that goes super thick and rich when you want it to. Mine's not totally working because these are water-based markers, so they haven't dried all the way. Usually, you want to wait for your paint or marker to dry thoroughly before you start adding colored pencil. But actually for this application, it's quite good. Look, ooh, I'm going to add shine to her face too. I could have used more contrast color, but it's okay. I'm just taking cues from the photo I'm looking at, by the way, as far as where to put highlight or shadow. And that's what I was telling my students this morning. Work from photos, because that's where you build your vocabulary of experience. And then when you go to draw freehand, your experience will come right through. Okay. Ta-da! Always sign your work and date it so you can always see your progress. And now I'm going to do a straight hair. Sorry, oh, my camera moved. I'm sorry, this is so impromptu. But, okay, so now let's do someone with straight hair. I'm trying to find a picture. I was going to do this girl, but I feel like her head is tilted a little bit, so... Oh, this is interesting. It's a little creepy, but I think maybe I'll do this. Wait, that's an updo. Maybe I should do hair that's down. Okay, I'm going to go with this one because this is so like simple, standard, straightforward. Again, this is from my book. Available on Amazon or whatever. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make a separate video for straight. How about that? So here's my curly video, and I'll upload another one for straight. Okay, remember, shape, the overall shape, the contour, which is shape of the edges, smooth, curly. Then shadow, major shadow areas, about 50% of your hair being in shadow, being darker. I did that by layering black over the black. You can see the differentiation, yeah. And then highlight to show texture as well. So I took cues from the photo. The next video I do with straight hair, you'll see, similar but different. And then finally, there's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I put mini shadows, like micro shadows, to show texture as well. Just remember that hair is part of the silhouette. It contributes to the whole outfit. And hair is a silhouette. Think of it as a garment. Think of it as clothes in your fashion design process. Don't focus too much on hairs. Think of it as part of the overall look, so that if you draw every hair in her hairdo, it's going to dominate your drawing, when your drawing is really more about clothes, right? Your fashion illustration is about design and fashion more than it is about hair, yeah? Okay, thanks for joining me today. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if you have questions. And I'm going to do the straight hair video in a few minutes. Thank you. Bye, guys.